it's not
It's
like
not a
30
25,
pounds.
it's not 25 pounds. Yeah.
No. Sorry to interrupt your conversation, but good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Pittsburgh. It is Sunday of November 24th of 2024, and it is our annual Thanksgiving multi-generational worship service. Welcome to all of you. I am Reverend Dr. Kate R. Walker. I use the she, her pronouns, and I am honored to serve as the minister of this beloved community. For those with visual disability, I'm a middle-aged, light-skinned female. My hair is mid-length and light brown. I wear glasses. Today I have a stole over my neck that is in a burgundy. We'll go with burgundy over a blouse that is multicolored in greens and grays and blues and more burgundy. And you are all welcome here. Absolutely delighted to see you. And if you're watching now on YouTube or in the future, we are delighted that you've chosen to be with us this morning. If you are brand new and you just arrived for the first time, I give you particularly strong affirmation for getting out of bed, making your way either to your computer device or here to our pews, and a special welcome. We would love to get to know you. On our website, we have information all over the site, but on the main page, you can sign up for our newsletter. It's down at the bottom of the page where you can opt in for our newsletter, which goes out on Thursdays. And if you're here in person, brand new, please introduce yourself. In the garden lobby is our welcome desk, and we'd love to know who you are. Reach out to us. Introduce yourself. Tell us what you're looking for. And if you're a longtime member and you've been coming for years and years, thank you. Thank you for your generosity of spirit and your commitment and your joy for all that you bring. We have an active community, and today we invited, and you may or may not have remembered or noticed this, but we did invite you to bring some bread to share. And if you have not already brought it forward, you are welcome to do so during the opening hymn. And if you have bread that's sitting on your counter at home forgotten, that's fine. You can eat it later. And if you didn't know you were invited to bring bread, that's fine. We're going to talk about miracles later and how Unitarian Universalists handle miracles. But we do have lots of bread here, and later in the service we'll invite you to take a different loaf of bread home if that is what you would like to do. And there's something going on downstairs. This building has been smelling of deliciousness for the last 48 hours. So today is our annual Thanksgiving lunch. I hear we're going to have just an awesome number of people. And if you have not already reserved a space, please, after the service, go down, see Jim Wrights. He's actually there right now, but he'll be downstairs after the service, and he can negotiate with you on finding a seat for you and filling your belly with good food. But we will do our best to accommodate everybody. And I also want to remind everybody, this Tuesday at 7 p.m. on the 26th of November is our Interfaith Thanksgiving service we are hosting this year. It moves around to different synagogues and churches throughout the East End, and we get to host it this year. And I would love it if you all help fill these pews. Our choir is singing, and we're going to have some wonderful music, and we're going to have some just a wonderful collection of speakers from religious leaders from many different faiths. That's enough. That's exhausting. And then Thursday, I hope you all travel well. And wherever you may be, if you're just traveling to your kitchen, or if you're traveling across the country, may you travel with a great deal of ease and joy. Let's all arrive in body and spirit, and take a deep breath. Imagine ourselves connected to one another in this beautiful sanctuary. Imagine ourselves connected to one another in churches across Pittsburgh, in mosques and synagogues throughout the weekend, and to people of prayer and joy and gratitude throughout this country. We turn to our chalice lighting, and I understand that Haven and Ray would like to learn how to light our chalice. Come on down. So this is the symbol of our faith, a candle with 2 circles around it, and Mac will guide you. And the 2 circles of Unitarian and Universalism with a light in the center that guides us through our lives as a beacon of hope, of generosity, of a vision for a better world, of answers and questions. Thank you. Thank you. I invite you to stand as you're able in body or in spirit as we sing now together, 67 in the gray hymnal.
Please be seated. I now invite you to join your voices with mine for our collective reading. The words can be found in your order of service. We covenant to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, acceptance of one another, and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, journeying towards spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community by our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and our institutions. Now invite up Erica Shadow Song.
Good morning again. I'm Erica Shadowsong, Lifespan Religious Education Director. I have brown skin, short cropped hair. I'm wearing a green shirt and gray pants. And today, since today is about food, I'd like to invite you to join the dinner train. We're going to take a ride on the dinner train. You guys ready? Mush, room, mush, room, mush, room. Mush, room, mush, room, mush, room, mush, room, mush, room. Cheese and crackers, 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 chicken fricassee, chicken fricassee, chicken fricassee, chicken fricassee, chicken fricassee, chicken fricassee, soup, soup. All right, we'll do it all together. You guys get to do all the sounds. Let's see. We'll start real slow and we'll go really fast. Ready? Now you know how to do it. All right. Mush, room, mush, room, mush, room, mush, room. Cheese and crackers, cheese and crackers, cheese and crackers, cheese and crackers, chicken fricassee, chicken fricassee, chicken fricassee, chicken fricassee, soup, 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 soup. Nicely done.
Thank you, Erica. Along those lines, our Share the Plate for the month of November is the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. For many of us here in this congregation, it's a month of delicious food, and not everyone is able to have that be the case for them. So if you're able, please donate a few dollars or a few tens of thousands of dollars as the plate goes around. As always, half of the Share the Plate goes to our basic operating expense, and the other half goes to our charity of choice, which this month is the food bank. Thank you.
We've entered into the time of year where we are invited to express our gratitude a lot. And I encourage us to do that, despite all the worries and the concerns and anxiety about war, government. I think it's important that we express the full capacity of who we are as emotional existence in this world. I offer for our hearts a sorrow Jen Lehman, who was our liturgist just last Sunday. Her mother died last night in Philadelphia. Jen was with her. Her mother's name was Kathy, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this right, Macarelio. And so with all of our hearts, let us send Jen and her family all of our love as they mourn Kathy. We also recognize in our hearts that this past Wednesday and the 20th was the Trans Day of Remembrance. As we remember all of our trans siblings and family members who have been wounded and exiled or even killed because of their identities, there are so many lost across our country, and we are usually not even aware of it. But I raise up one name in particular, Polly Likens, who was killed right here in Sharon, Pennsylvania, in Western Pennsylvania. But we also remember with gratitude that the vibrancy and the vitality that our trans siblings and family bring to our congregation, to our families, and to our country. I think without them we would be infinitely poorer and at a loss. I invite you now to remember all of your sorrows and your joys that are within the silence and the sanctuary of your hearts. To remember that none of us walk our journey together alone. Perhaps you hold these silently, but please share them in the universe, perhaps with the wind, or a tree, or a bird, or a friend. I invite you now into a time of personal prayer, of silence and meditation. Spirit of love, fill our hearts with your tenderness, with your healing grace. We have so many broken places and pieces in our hearts and bodies. Spirit of love, soothe our aches. Help fill the empty places. As we breathe in this beautiful oxygen of the world, let us breathe in the love surrounding us. Spirit of life, give us sustenance, strength, resilience. Deepen our commitment to creating a better world for all people, for all life. Deepen our capacity to experience generosity and compassion and our commitment to justice for all. In these days of family and friends, we remember all of those who were in this country long before us, in this land, this ancestral land of indigenous people. We remember the deep wounds in this land of illness and bloodshed, and we grieve for the cultures and the lives lost, even to this day. For our indigenous people, we offer our deepest compassion, our deepest commitment to repair for all that has been broken across the ages. In this day of resilience and justice, let us remember to bring our Indigenous friends and family with us, invite them, and be invited into their lives in partnership as allies. In this world of both joy and sorrow, let us expand our hearts with the love that we have for one another in all life that is precious. Blessed be, and amen. We're going to invite you all to stand as you're able in body and spirit. We're going to sing 402, From You I Receive. And if you remember these words, that's awesome. Eric and I are going to show you some hand motions to get your body into this gift of from receiving and giving.
I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. You I give, together we share, and for this we live. I receive, to you I give, together we share, and for this we live. To you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and for this we live. You I receive, to you I give, together we share, and for this we live. You I receive, to you I give, together we share, and for this we live. You I receive, to you I give, together we share, and for this we live.
We should always have interns, I'm just saying. Or we just keep Mac. That's I have an ancient story to tell you, and this is the oldest version of the story, right? A very, very long time ago, there was a really awesome, cool guy. Everybody liked him. Everybody loved his stories. He was a teacher. He was an organizer. He just really, really popular. And he traveled all over telling stories, teaching people, helping people feel wonderful, and blessing people. He sometimes walked everywhere, but sometimes he took the boat too. He had a really dedicated group of friends who helped him out a lot, but sometimes they would get really tired. And one day, the man looked at his friends and he saw that they were just dragging. They were so tired. And he said, look, let's get out of here. Why don't you guys go grab that boat over there, and we'll go find a really quiet, secluded beach where we can hang out and rest. So they grabbed the boat, they climbed into it, and then they found a lovely, quiet, secluded beach. So they thought. Turns out a bunch of people saw them coming, and they all gathered. And by the time they got to the beach, it wasn't a quiet, secluded beach anymore. And even though the man was really tired, he wasn't cranky, he didn't yell at people. He said, they just want to learn. So he taught some more. And then after a while, though, his friend said, you know, we're really hungry. Why don't you tell these people to go find some food, and we can all, just get, take a break. And the man said, no, these are our guests. We have to feed them. That's what we do. We have to feed them. What kind of food do we have with us? And his friends looked in their bags, and they came up with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. And they looked out at the crowd, and they saw thousands of people. And they thought, we don't have enough. We can't do this. But the man said, no problem. He blessed the bread and the fish. He told the people, organized into small groups, and then he handed out all the bread and all the fish, and they ate, and they were fed, and they were satisfied. And everybody looked around, and somebody remembered to take a head count, one of the management team, and they came up with over 5,000 people that got fed that day and were full. Pretty impressive, don't you think? Well, that guy, that teacher, he wasn't done. He did it again a few weeks later with 4,000 people. This time they had 7 loaves and a few fish. And again, everybody was fed. Pretty impressive. By now, I bet most of you have figured out that this man's name was Jesus. It's a very famous story that you can find in the book of Matthew, Mark, which is the oldest gospel, as well as in Luke. Slightly different versions. One of them happened to mention that there were actually some women and children there. That was nice. But so Jesus, in being a teacher, was also an organizer. And Jesus believed in helping people understand the power that they had when they came together, because they had a lot of problems that they needed to fix in their society. There were a lot of poor people. There were people who were hungry. There were people who were sick and in pain. And there was this big oppressive government that was always coming down on them. And in addition, Jesus noticed that his faith leaders of his own tradition, well, some of them was helping the government, not the people. So Jesus said, we can have a different future. We can have a different future. And that was what a lot of his teaching was. He taught a lot about love and compassion and generosity and justice. It was pretty powerful. And I gotta say, there are times that Jesus was not particularly safe. In fact, there was another teacher named John the Baptist, and just before he fed those thousands of people, well, the government took out John the Baptist. So Jesus wasn't particularly safe, but he didn't go hide. He was out there challenging the government and saying, I'm gonna take on the empire and you all are gonna help me. And that's what he did. It was pretty powerful. And he just basically said, we can feed everybody. We have all the resources right here in front of us. So many people think this story, it's an important story, it's really a metaphor. It didn't really happen the way it was written. That it was more of a metaphor about a time in the future when everybody is fed. No one goes hungry, where we take care of each other. We have compassion for each other. We look out for each other. It's a powerful vision. It works for a lot of people, I would say. And there's some other people that said that it was actually also a protest against the rich and the powerful, and saying, hey, we're going to take care of each other even without your oppression. And there's some other people who think that those two feedings of the people, one of them took place on a beach on the shore of Galilee where the Jewish people would go. The other feeding took place on the shore of Galilee where the Gentiles went, people who were not Jewish. And the Gentiles and the Jews often, well, they didn't really see the commonality in each other and how they could bind together. But Jesus' teaching was that bread is for everyone, and it's enough. Bread is for everyone. It's a commonality that binds us together. Again, it's a powerful teaching, and that's what he was really, really good at. And the last thing that he taught was that it was blessed by one God, by one powerful, loving, compassionate God. Oh, well, that's why this story has been going on we've been telling this story for a little over 2,000 years. It works, it's really powerful. But you might still be asking, was it really a miracle? Anybody asking that? No, because you wouldn't even ask, would you? Of course it wasn't a miracle, Kate. It's a powerful metaphor. Well, I'll tell you, Mac told me a story that he was part of as a child. It was the miracle of generosity. That when he was at his Unitarian church, when he was growing up, that the minister at Thanksgiving had brought one loaf of bread to people just like you. One loaf of bread, and put it out and said, share it. Everybody has to get some of this bread. Share it. And it passed around to all the people gathered, in every single hand. And when it came back to the minister, there was bread left over. The miracle of generosity happens all the time. I'll tell you my version of what I think happened. You want to know what I think happened? It was a good old-fashioned potluck. Because in those days, if you left home, you put food in your bag. There were no convenience stores and fast food restaurants in every corner. You did not leave home unless you had food. And by the time Jesus was wrapping up those stories, everybody was in tears. Their hearts had been ripped open with love and generosity and compassion, and they knew they were next to their neighbors, no matter their beliefs or their customs. And when Jesus said, organize into circles and be kind to one another, do you know what they did? They reached into their bags and they shared what they had with one another. The problem was the translators didn't know what potluck meant. Kind of got lost when we went from Aramaic to Latin and Greek. It would have changed everything, wouldn't it? Would have changed everything if they had just said it was a potluck. That's a powerful way to come together in community. When we come together to bless one another and the bread that we share. And we come together in meals, generation after generation after generation. Do you know what we're doing when we're doing that? We're not just feeding our faces. We're creating history. We're becoming part of history. We're reaching back to the generations, and we're becoming connected with our ancestors. And then we're becoming connected with the children and the children's children and the great-grandchildren, and we become part of this binding thread that winds its way through history. And then we are part of the blessing of living and generosity and love. And if I've done my work well, you're all on the verge of tears and you're ready to share bread with one another, and there'll be plenty. So, this is a day when we share love with one another and acts of generosity. And I'm going to say amen to that part of the homily, but we're going right into this bread thing. Somebody needs to tell the folks downstairs we're coming down early. Because I'm looking at the time. I can't drag this out any longer. We have this bread here for you, and I am not a mathematician, but I can tell you right now there's plenty of bread for everybody. Because what I know you can do is that somebody wants bread, you will simply rip that loaf in half and give it to somebody. This year we kept it in tightly sealed packaging because we believe in germs. I know there's a few political leaders that doubt germs. We do. We believe in germs, so we kept it in tightly sealed packaging. But we invite you to come forward if you would like a loaf of bread that has been blessed by all of us, by your presence, by your grace, by acts of forgiveness, one day at a time. They invite you to come forward and take some bread home. Share it with yourself and your neighbors and your family. But this is how we come together. No matter our beliefs, no matter our customs, there is bread enough for everyone, always. It's just a matter of sharing. Please come forward if you would like some bread. We invite you to stand as you're able for our closing hymn, 69, Give Thanks.
Give thanks for the corn and the wheat that are reaped, for labor well done, and for barns that are heaped, for with kindness are blessed, for seasons of plenty and well-deserved rest, for our country extending from sea unto sea, for ways that have made it a land for the free.
Please join your voices with mine for our chalice extinguishing. The words are again in your order of service. Kate, do you want a friend or are you happy?
Nobody likes me.
Oh, sad. I like you, Kate. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
I invite you to go downstairs in an organized fashion. As efficiently as you can, find a seat, place yourself down. It is not a buffet. You will be served family style. And if you are hungry and did not sign up for the lunch, not a problem. We'll figure it out. Just go on downstairs and talk to Jim. Go forth into this world with your hunger for justice. Go forth in this world with your passion for love, for generosity, for connection. Go forth in this world even when you do not know where you are going. But as long as you have love and generosity and justice in your heart, you will find your way through. Return again with love and generosity. Travel well, my beloved. Travel well, eat well. Blessed be.